Hello and welcome again to Eye on South Asia. I am Nitya Karthik.
And I am Sunil Hali.
Every week we bring to you news, views and other events all about South Asians living in North America. Let's get started. Sunil, what do you have for us this week?
Nitya, this is kind of slowed down overall in the activities in the South Asian side, or overall because the mood is moving towards festivities and organizational events.
Of course.
So we don't have huge big stories as we had, but there is one very critical story, very sad, very insulting, especially for us Indians, is about President Abdul Kalam Azad, who was frisked this time at the JFK airport.
Right.
And it's absolutely not acceptable, non-negotiable. This man is like a saint. And he's sitting in an Air India plane inside. After everything is done, the TSA authority people come in at JFK International Airport inside the plane and they say they need to check it one more time. Air India people were absolutely upset, angry. They resisted it almost, even though they can't, because the authority has the right to do whatever they want.
Right.
And they told them that this is the former president of India. On top of that, the kind of president he has been and the person he is. But they said, no, this is what we need to do. And they took his shoes, they took his jacket, and they had to run a security once again. And president, of course, as you know, he is such a nice man.
He is the kind of a person he is, right.
And he kept quiet, he just cooperated. In fact, he said, this is not the first time this is happening to me. I just ignore such things. It's all right, let them do their job. But this time, Indian government has not taken it lying down. And of course, President Kalam Azad's office reported it to MEA and they took it up with the US government. They obviously this time are on a defensive and they have regretted it. And they have said the appropriate procedure for expedited screening of dignitaries had not been followed. We accept it, we are sorry. They also said that US was actively working to prevent such incidents from happening in the future. And like I said, you know, this is not the first time. This also happened in 2009 in April when Continental Airline, a premier American airline, which is of course merged with the American Airlines, right, United Airlines, in New Delhi, frisked him.
Right. This goes a step beyond frisking. Frisking is what you pat down at the gate. You ask the person to stand aside for extra security measures.
Right.
You accept that to a certain extent. But the man has boarded the plane, right?
Yeah.
And then you come inside and you say, listen, we need to search you all over again. That is where I think they drew a line. And that is where it became insulting.
And pick him.
Exactly.
And when you are being told time and again, he is the former president of India, somebody has to be ignorant today to know what is the position of India and its relevance to America, you know. Very sad, but I hope this is the last time. And
exactly.
It never happens again.
It just sours relations unnecessarily and it's not what we want happening right now at this very juncture.
Sure. Now going back to the United Nations, which is the overall body in the world who looks after the relationships between the countries, different issues. We had our own H.K. Dua, he's the very active member of parliament, and he said, look, we are of the very clear view that the expansion of the Security Council is a must, it's essential. We should reflect the today's scenario of the world where India stands up in the overall global scenario. And they said this outcome will enhance the Council's credibility and effectiveness in dealing with global issues. Early reform of the Security Council must be pursued with renewed vigor and urgently enacted. And he was of the opinion that, you know, if you look at where India stands, you add it to the Security Council, it makes it look bigger and more real of the real situation what is in the world today. And everybody is hoping that this will be done sooner than later.
I'm curious, Sunil, was there a reason why this sudden prompt on his end? Was there any reason? Or
no, he was just here for the meet for the United Nations and General Assembly, and he once again reiterated the point that has been going on for last several years, but we were this close, now we're almost there, that India will be added to the Security Council. We also have our own Minister for Corporate Affairs, M. Veerappa Moile. He was here in Washington, D.C. and United States, US IBC the International Business Chamber organized a dinner for him.
Right.
And once again, the issues that were discussed there were about the draft of the national competition policy, the merger and acquisitions in India,
The scenario in India,
the Competition Commission of India, and other significant issues that are of corporate effectiveness and activities. And Ron Summers, who is the man behind USIBC, like I have said, such a wonderful man. He is the president, and he says India's competition policy is of great interest to the American investors.
Yes.
And they're all watching it. The competition policy will affect the business climate in India, and if properly calibrated, balanced, can serve as a tremendous impetus to the growth. USIBC looks forward to working with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs to ensure India's adoption of international best practices and pro-growth, job-creating, competitive ways, policies will make all the difference.
It does. It really does.
And the minister assured that is the way India is going and it should be implemented. Very nice. That really makes India an open forum for especially the American companies to come to India and look for equal opportunities or comparative opportunities where they can compete with anybody who is local or Indian and provide the best service and win the contract.
And it should be an exchange, and that's what they're looking at.
True, just like it's here. On the other hand, we have a little sad story. The pioneer from India, Dr. Har Govind Khurana, he was the Nobel laureate. He passed away.
Right.
He was 89 years old and he lived, after all these years of work, he had adopted US as his home country and he was a citizen here. He lived in Massachusetts with his wife if you think about Dr. Hargobind Khurana, it's such a nice story. A man who comes from a small village in Punjab, Raipur village, and then goes on to studies, and then he gets the Government of India fellowship to go to UK for his studies, and then grows out of there and goes into Canada. I think he served in British Columbia, Vancouver,
right,
and then he moved to US for all good reasons, and then he was decorated with the highest honors, which is the Nobel laureate in the field of medicine. He really exemplifies what a common man, an average person with a determination can do, rising right from the nowhere and global, becoming a Nobel laureate. You can't be higher than that position. Of course, during the journey, he won many, many other awards who are obviously as good or probably in certain ways unique. But it's sad that we lost such a noble soul.
He was a talent, definitely, and a man from very humble beginnings who's come to such stature today.
True. And he leaves a huge amount of work that he has done in the research side.
A very strong legacy.
Which will be extremely useful for the humankind, for the ages and ages to go for the growth.
Right.
Very interesting, again, on the science and technology side, our own Cisco, John Chambers, who heads it, has been so pro-India, so present in India, and Cisco has a huge base in India, and he has a huge resource talent in their San Jose headquarters in the Bay Area. They have come with this very interesting experiment whereby they are connecting the village in India with this district hospital. Healthcare is still a big issue in India.
We are at a neonascent stage.
And absolutely. And then 70% of the people in India live in rural areas while the 80% of the doctors live in the cities or, the district hospitals. So they have come up with their technology-based program whereby the patient is actually in a far distant place in a village and he or she, through that system, is connected to the
main doctor.
Right. So what they do is they come to the local care center and the nurse will take care of their basic vitals. And that report this is on a real-time basis, by the way. They're almost talking to the doctor through the system.
Right.
And they are talking to the doctor and doctor
responds back.
Yeah.
Right.
The doctors are able to immediately understand what's going on and administer the treatment, and hopefully one of these days soon even medicines will be able to reach out to these far from places. And this program has been adopted by many states. Karnataka did it, and now this is in Madhya Pradesh. This is extraordinary program, I think.
Do you realize the potential? It has tremendous, it has a very far-reaching impact, especially for the poorer rural areas where the healthcare is in shambles, let's face it. It's really not
And
even
if you go through
progressed.
normal practices, it may take years and years and years before you can go and permeate the local level, at the village level, probably there are not even enough roads out there.
Right.
And this technology-based treatment is truly, incredible, and we compliment Cisco Systems for adopting it in India.
Definitely. And I hope it grows and remains stronger.
Sure. And this technology-based, again, now you know about YouTube. It's everybody is on YouTube. And our own superstar, Salman Khan, your favorite once again, the man with the 100 crores for his
Right.
movies. Salman Khan has quietly set up a foundation for online learning program.
It's a very interesting foundation.
It's very interesting that here is a man, such a human type, and he has set up a program which is purely based out of YouTube, which is a low budget YouTube program. And he's talking about what they call STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math.
Right.
This is the main program that he has got from his academy, which is called
Khan Academy. Right. When they started, Sunil, it was just very low budget tutorials or video tutorials
Right.
on YouTube, and it was basically math and science.
Right.
Right?
And now he's
that was the story before.
And
And,
now
then
he's-
came the scholarship.
Correct. And he earlier got $2 million in grants from Gates Foundation and from
Right.
Google. And now he's got $5 million from O'Sullivan Foundation to hire teachers and develop the curriculum. Now they're looking to expand the program.
And now it will become STEM.
This is so interesting, and you should really hear what O'Sullivan has to say. He says, when I went and understood the program from Mr. Khan, I was so moved. He said, I think Salman and the whole Khan Academy team are doing a great job with the model as it's been developed. And he says, he's so humble. He says, I'm just supporting this expansion.
Right.
5 million is not a small money.
No.
Even by
It's more
today's
than a
standards,
support.
25 crore rupees in India, just to support a program which is anyway low budget, low cost, which will educate tons and tons and tons of students. I think this is extraordinary, and I think such programs will do wonders for us.
He saw the potential behind it. He saw some video tutorials and he met the students and the staff behind it, and he says he was blown away
Yes.
by their dedication, and he says this is what students with determination can do. Average students can become exceptional, and exceptional students can go on to reach the sky's the limit for them.
Just like we talked about Dr. Hargobind Khurana.
Exactly.
That was 1968, and now this is, you're talking about 2012 almost, right here. We compliment Mr. Salman Khan and his team, and of course Mr. O'Sullivan for giving such grants.
Definitely.
I hope more and more such work continues, and the superstars, the movie stars who make tons and tons of money do this kind of work on this side.
Right.
Last week, as we talked about, this whole month actually is Guru Nanak Ji's birthday celebration month, and he is the most revered teacher of the Sikh community, which is the largest community in North America by some accounts, almost 1.3 million. And President Obama, as he has been last time, it was about Diwali, and this time it's, in fact, I think he celebrated Eid for the Muslim
He
community.
did. He celebrated.
And
Eid
now
as well.
this is about Guru Nanak Ji's birthday, and he's very proud in saying that I am very proud that during my presidency in the White House, we hosted the first celebration of the birth of Guru Nanak, and our country is grateful for the extraordinary contribution of Sikh Americans in this nation.
Definitely.
And he says the whole idea is inspired from the teaching of Guru about equality, honesty, and helping those who are in need, which has been normally the mandate of President Obama's administration, his personal, right from the day one, except of course the economy is his nightmare, and who knows where is he going with that. So he says, on this occasion, we are reminded of the fundamental principles of Sikhism, including the equality of all people, the sanctity of living an honest life, and the importance of service to our neighbors.
Definitely.
I think, again, one more wonderful gesture.
Definitely.
From
He is
President
going
Obama.
above his mark, and he's doing his
Only-
best to reach out on all aspects.
True, but as in community relation building, he's certainly a great ambassador.
Definitely.
But I think he has got his challenge in his hands when it comes to the economy, and he's just 1 year away. You saw the numbers from the online about surveys about his popularity.
Right. I know it's dipping, and you can't blame the general mood of the nation is on a low ever since the jobs have started going. The economy is dipping, but that's another story for a little later. We'll have to hold on to that and some other stories. Let's move on to a short break. We'll be right back.